Your shipment, packed with thousands, maybe tens of thousands of dollars of your product, is stuck in a cold, anonymous customs warehouse. And every single day it sits there, the storage fees, a nasty little charge called demurrage, are piling up, bleeding your profit margin dry. Meanwhile, your customer, the one who was so excited for their delivery, is getting antsy. Their calls get a little sharper, the emails more frequent. And you're caught in the middle, completely powerless, feeling your reputation fray with every passing hour. This expensive, stressful nightmare is one of the biggest fears in international trade. And you know what usually causes it? One simple missing piece of paper: a permit. So in this video, we're going to break down the critical permits you absolutely need to know about. We'll help you build a shipping strategy that ensures your valuable goods never, ever get trapped in a customs black hole again. This is how you keep your products moving and your customers happy. Section 1. What exactly is a customs permit? So, what even is a customs permit? Is it just more government red tape? Well, yes and no. Think of it like a passport, but for your products. A permit is an official thumbs up from a government that allows specific goods to cross its borders. It's how they make sure that whatever is coming into or leaving the country is playing by their rules, following national laws, health and safety standards, and trade agreements. While most everyday stuff can travel with just standard paperwork, certain things get a much closer look. Governments are understandably picky about products that could affect public safety, the economy, the environment, or national security. Ultimately, these permits do a few key things. They ensure goods are safe and meet quality standards. They help collect the right amount of taxes and duties. They enforce trade policies to protect local industries. And, critically, they stop illegal, fake, or hazardous stuff from getting through. Failing to get the right permit isn't a small slip-up. To customs, it's a huge red flag, and the consequences are serious. That's why getting this right isn't just helpful, it's essential for survival in global business. Section 2. The general process. Your action plan, okay. Navigating the world of permits can feel like a maze, but there's a logical path through it. Once you get the steps down, you'll be in control. First things first, you have to figure out if your goods even need a permit. This all comes down to what your product is and where it's going. Things like food, chemicals, vehicles, electronics, and anything made from endangered species are almost always on a restricted list somewhere. You have to do your homework. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection website, or the Customs Authority in your target country, is your best friend here. Second, once you know a permit is required, it's time to gather your documents. Precision is everything. You'll typically need a detailed commercial invoice, a bill of lading, a certificate of origin, and of course, the permit application itself. For specialized goods, you might need extra certificates, like a health certificate for plants or specific compliance docs for electronics. Third, you apply to the right government agency. This could be the main customs office, a trade ministry, or a specialized group like the FDA or FCC in the US. The good news is that many countries now have online portals that make this a lot easier. Fourth, you wait. An agent will review your application and they might have questions. Be prepared for that. Processing times can be anything from a few days to several weeks. So you absolutely have to build this waiting period into your shipping timeline. Finally, once you have that approved permit in your hands, you're clear to ship. That permit is your golden ticket. You'll present it with all your other documents at the port, proving you've done everything by the book. Section 3. The critical permits you must know. All right, let's get into the specifics. While there are tons of permits out there, most fall into a few key categories. Knowing which one applies to you is half the battle. First up is the standard import permit. This is the big one, required when you bring controlled goods into a country. This covers anything that could impact public health or safety, like food, medicine, chemicals, or weapons. Every country has its list, so never assume that what's okay in one place is okay everywhere. On the flip side, you have the export permit. This is for sending controlled goods out of a country. This is often about protecting national security or cultural assets. Think military tech, advanced software, or historical artifacts. Next is the temporary import permit. This is a game changer if you're moving goods across a border for a short time without selling them. This is perfect for things like trade show equipment, tools for a short-term project, or a media cruise gear. The main rule is that the goods have to leave the country within a set time, usually up to a year, to avoid paying duties. A super-powered version of this is the ATA Carnet. People call it a merchandise passport, and for good reason. It's a single international document that lets you temporarily import goods into over 80 countries, duty-free and tax-free. If you regularly move professional gear or commercial samples around the world, the ATA Carnet is your absolute best friend. It makes the whole process predictable and cheap. Then you get into the highly specialized, product-specific permits. This is where it gets really granular. For instance, importing electronics into the US that emit radio frequencies, like phones, laptops, or anything with Bluetooth, means you have to satisfy the Federal Communications Commission, FCC. You'll likely need an FCC certification before your goods can even touch US soil. Importing vehicles is another beast entirely. A car not built to US standards can't be imported without jumping through major hoops. You'll be wrestling with forms from the Department of Transportation and the EPA to prove the car meets safety and emissions standards. And finally, permits for biological items like food, plants, and animals almost always need special health or phytosanitary certificates to prove they're free of pests and diseases. If your product comes from a protected species, an international CITES permit is mandatory to show it was sourced legally and ethically. Section 4. The high stakes of getting it wrong. Let's not sugarcoat what happens if you ignore these rules. Shipping without the right permit isn't a risk. It's a guaranteed disaster. The most immediate problem? Your shipment gets seized. Your goods are stuck, and those warehouse storage fees we talked about start ticking up day after day. But it gets worse. Authorities can hit you with massive fines. For really serious violations like trying to sneak in prohibited items, you could even face criminal charges. In many cases, customs will either force you to pay to ship the goods back to where they came from, or, even worse, they'll just destroy them. Imagine losing your entire inventory, on top of all the fines and shipping costs. Beyond the money, the damage to your reputation can be brutal. A history of compliance problems flags you as a high-risk shipper. That means more inspections and more delays on all your future shipments. Your customers lose faith, and your competitors gain an edge. In this business, reliability is currency, and one bad mistake can wipe you out. Section 5. The smart shortcut. Working with a professional. If you're listening to all this and thinking it's way too much to handle alone, you're not wrong. For many businesses, it is. That's where the smart shortcut comes in. Partnering with a licensed customs broker. These are the pros who live and breathe the chaos of international trade regulations. They're fluent in customs speak and are always on top of the thousands of rule changes. A good broker doesn't just check boxes on your paperwork. They represent you, talking to customs agencies to smooth out issues before they ever become expensive problems. Hiring a broker isn't just another cost. It's an investment. The fee you pay them is almost always a tiny fraction of what a single customs delay or penalty would cost you. It's peace of mind in a box, letting you focus on growing your business while they handle the headache of getting your product safely across the border. So, if this looks at customs permits has you rethinking your shipping strategy, we're here to help. Trying to manage all of this on your own can be a huge drain on your time and money. Click the link in the description to book a consultation with our logistics experts. We can help you build a supply chain that's compliant, efficient, and ready for anything. And for more guides on how to master global trade and skip the expensive mistakes, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. You won't want to miss what we've got coming up. The world of international trade is full of incredible opportunities, but it's also a world with strict rules. Understanding and respecting customs permits is the foundation of your success. Just remember, a missing permit is the #1 reason for catastrophic shipping delays. The right permit depends entirely on your product and its destination. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. And finally, careful research and preparation aren't optional. Dealing with customs doesn't have to be a nightmare. With the right knowledge, the right prep, and the right partners, you can ship your products anywhere with confidence. You can turn what feels like a massive risk into just another predictable and profitable part of your business.